right, good morning.
Morning.
It is the 8th day of December, 2025. It's 9 a.m. We are in the County Court at Law courtroom located at 2718 Highway 35 North, Rockport, Texas, 78382, and I call this regular meeting to order. Please stand and join me with the invocation.
Please join me as I pray. As always, Father, we're thankful for the blessings of this new day and the cool weather that you've sent. And one thing we've learned, if we've lived life long enough, is that in the duality of life, there's a struggle between good and evil. And it starts at the moment we're born, and it continues our whole life. And 84 years ago today, at Pearl Harbor, they were assessing the damage of Pearl Harbor, the bombing attack that happened on December 7th. And Lord, that is something we need to keep on in our minds and to honor those people and their memory who sacrificed their lives. That one day in that one battle, over 2,400 people lost their lives. And it catapulted us into a world war that supposedly was to end all world wars, but we had over 400,000 men and women sacrifice their lives to maintain the freedom that we enjoy today and take for granted. And just the ability to be in this public forum and have this meeting and have these elected officials represent us is evidence of the freedom that we experience in this country. And we should hold it dear. And we should not only honor our military men and women continually, but we should honor our elected officials who we chose to represent us. So we pray a special blessing on these commissioners this morning, that they'll conduct the business of this county and serve and represent the citizens of this county according to your will. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me with the pledges.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney?
Here.
Commissioner Casterline?
Here.
Commissioner Russo? Here. Commissioner Dupnick?
Here.
Judge Garza?
Here, we've got a full court. Thank you. Before we move on to citizens to be heard, there's a couple of housekeeping items I need to do. Item number 14, I'm going to strike that. And then we'll move on to citizens to be heard. I've got one. Okay, I'm going to table also number 17. We'll put those on another meeting. All right, citizens to be heard. I've got one. Renee Zavala Jr. Come on up.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. So my name is Renee Zavala Jr. I am the area engineer for the Centenary office. I oversee 3 counties, Aransas, Refugio, and San Patricio. Today I wanted to speak to y'all to bring awareness to our current End the Street campaign initiatives. November 7th, 2000 was the last deathless day on our state highways. In putting that in terms of numbers, for 25 years straight, we've had at least one death, one fatality on our roadways. So what does this mean? So in 2024, about 4,200 people lost their lives on our roadways. In 25 years, that's over 91,000 people. All right, so what are we doing to help end the street? So TxDOT's doing the Click It or Ticket initiative. Buckle up, drive slow, drive the speed limit. When you're driving, get off your cell phone, put it on Do Not Disturb. All right. And just a few facts that we have here. In 2024, 772 pedestrians were killed in crashes. 381 people were killed by distracted driving. 1 in 4 people were killed in traffic crashes where a driver was under the influence of alcohol in 2024. right? These are all staggering numbers. So I ask that you do your part and drive like a Texan, drive safe, courteous, and with respect. For more information, as far as testimonials of the affected families that have lost a loved one, I encourage you to go to texdot.gov/endthestreak. On there, you'll find plenty of presentations and people, families that have lost loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Judge, if I may, I
Yes.
don't think it's out of order. I'd like to thank Mr. Zavala and the staff. We've had a safety concern over in Lamar area, just north of Copano Bay, and they're working on addressing it, actually having activity out there in the last few days. So I want to thank you and your staff because that is a safety issue also.
Yes, sir.
I've already gotten calls thanking us for the deer crossing sign.
I know.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And y'all have my business card. If do not hesitate to reach out to my office if y'all have a concern. Thank you, Judge.
Nobody online? Appreciate it. All right, item number 1.
I move to approve proclamation number P-17-2025 celebrating Aransas County Navigation District's 100-year anniversary.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second. Ms. Tracy.
Whereas the Aransas County Navigation District is a vital part of the economy and culture of Aransas County, and the Aransas County Commissioners Court finds it is fitting and proper to recognize the 100-year anniversary of the establishment of the district. And whereas the district was formed as the Aransas County Navigation District Number 1 pursuant to the Constitution and laws of the state of Texas by the voters of Aransas County at an election held on December 7, 1925, and by an order of the Aransas County Commissioners Court on December 14, 1925. And whereas the Texas Legislature subsequently changed the name of the district to the Aransas County Navigation District. And whereas Travis Bailey, Charles T. Picton, and A.C. Glass were appointed as the first Navigation and Canal Commissioners by an order of the Commissioners Court of Aransas County. And whereas over the years, the district has acquired various properties and has obtained from the state of Texas numerous patents of submerged lands and has developed and maintains various seawalls, breakwaters, and other structures which protect our citizens and their properties, especially of the city of Rockport and the town of Fulton, and made other major improvements in those properties and lands which benefit the local economy and protect the shorelines and inlands. And whereas the district in the intervening years has also developed and maintains waterways, marinas, and commercial properties at Cove Harbor, Fulton Harbor, and Rockport Harbor, has developed and maintains Little Bay, its turning basin, and related waterways and structures, makes available and supports properties on which are located important education centers, maritime museum, aquarium, convention center, sculpture displays, and other cultural facilities, has developed and maintains Rockport Beach, the festival grounds, various other amenities for the public such as restrooms, boat ramps, and fishing piers, and has provided important nesting grounds for various birds and other wildlife, all of which underpin and are of vast importance to the economy of Aransas County and to the education and well-being of our citizens. And whereas the Aransas County Navigation District plans to hold special events during 2025 and 2026 in celebration and recognition of its centennial. Now therefore we, the Aransas County Commissioners Court, do hereby proclaim December 14th, 2025 as the official centennial of the Aransas County Navigation District, and encourage our citizens to celebrate, participate, and enjoy the planned events and festivities that will take place beginning December 14th, 2025 and continuing throughout 2026. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo? Aye. Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Tracy, for reading that. Item number 2. Or actually, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo? Aye. Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 3.
Move to approve the third quarter report for the Historical Commission.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Dave Hatman.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Anyone has any questions on the our report? It's a little bit different than normal because I didn't have the November financials from Jackie just yet. So these are as reported by recorded into me directly. So I put them in bold italics on the report you've got. So if you have any questions, some of the larger ones. We have $2,300, and that's for bookcases for the new courthouse that will house historic commission material. Another one for $2,000, a little farther down, is for the calendars, printing of the calendars that are done typically every year. So if you have any other questions on the financial report.
Nope.
Okay, I like it.
Just appreciate what y'all are doing. Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes. Report's accepted. Item number 4.
Move to approve 2 new members for the Historical Commission, Norma Martinez and Michael Abels.
I'll second that.
Norma Martinez is retired Rockport pilot reporter. I think she's going to be really good. Hopefully she'll take over our cemetery work. And then, of course, everybody knows Mike Abels, part of the Maritime. And that'll be 2 new commissioners because most of the commissioners will be coming out at the end of this year. And we're right now trying to do some drives for new commissioners so they could take our places.
Doreen, do you post something to solicit new members?
We do. I've posted
Okay.
it on Facebook, and we probably need to do a pilot run, but we will be doing a little bit more. I'm going to call it a membership drive, if you will. And we do ask folks to, when they come to events, if they would like to be commissioners.
Okay. Because with the holidays and that, if you want to put an ad in, and now that the Rockport pilot only comes out once a week, you might want to put one in now. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think both of those people will be good. I'm glad to see Norma getting involved again.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Item passes. Item number 5.
And then 2026.
Do we need a motion first?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Move to approve the 2026 officers for the Historical Commission.
Second.
Okay. Sorry, got a little ahead of myself.
You're eager.
Yeah, I am. The 2026 officers remain the same as 2025. Myself as chairperson, Sandy Richards as vice, Dave Hatman as treasurer, and Betty Hatman as secretary.
Sweet.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes, and thank y'all for serving. Appreciate y'all. Item number 6.
Move to approve the third quarter report for the Rockport Cultural Arts District.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Day, good morning.
Hi there. Good morning. Good morning. Jennifer Day, 902 East Cornwall Street, Rockport. Do we have a clicker, Colin? I don't have a clicker. It's buried in a box. Okay. Do you mind when we get going here? Okay. Thank you. Okay. This is the September. We're a little bit tardy on getting this report to you, and I apologize for that. We've had quite a few things on our slate. If you could advance, please, sir. Okay, this is continued. This just shows the continued progress that we've made at the railroad depot since we've acquired it, and continuing to work on it on its expansion. Next, please. Continuing to have second Saturdays in the district, running our little train. We're having music on the deck. Of course, there's a farmer's market, the maker's market. There's art walk. There's different music. We've had music at the Daily Grind Courtyard. So all of those things are things that we work collaboratively downtown with. And then, of course, we have our visuals as well on our YouTube channel. And those are, the majority of those have been done by Carla Tank, which I think most of you know her fairly well by now. Okay, just another visual. We did install the old steam bell, which is quite fun. I hear it at my house all the time. People have fun with it, so that's great. Okay, this is a project, and I think most of you are very familiar with this. Originally was going to be a GLO project, and as it turns out, it was funded fully by Coastal Bend Bays and Estuaries. It is almost finished. We're working on having a ribbon cutting in February. And so this is a very important, obviously, in today's environment to collect rainwater and reuse that water. So it will irrigate the green space around the Railroad Museum. And this is signage right here, an example of the signage. Very educational for people that can walk up on the sidewalk and learn a little bit about rainwater harvesting. Okay, we continue to hold district meetings. We've added another state marker within the cultural district. There are over 20. I think there are 22 or 23 now, and there's 2 national historical markers within the 44 blocks of the cultural district. We've also received support from HEB on the Art Colony children's book and had that republished as well. Okay, I gave you a copy of this, and this is free advertising at a state level, which is very, very important. That free word in marketing is very important. So this was an honor to be featured in the latest Authentic Texas, the official magazine of the state of Texas.
And that's distributed throughout the state.
That's correct. That's correct.
It's a terrific magazine.
Yeah, it really is. So we were able to feature some really cool stuff. We also completed our environmental documentary featuring Charlie Belair. It's named Aransas Living a Legacy. It's his lifetime legacy of conserving our wildlife, our ecosystem here in Aransas, all up and down the Gulf Coast. Very educational. It debuted at the film festival the beginning of November at the Center for the Arts. Martha McLeod has it for her class. You know, we're continuing to get it out. So this was totally funded by Charlie Belair at my asking if he would be interested in doing this. It's speared from the cultural interface sculpture and the natural wildlife preservation around that, and then of course the county, city. Allowed him to also get preservation certifications for right-of-ways. And it led to our ecosystem summit, which is this right here. So again, all of these things are important, obviously, to this area. We do have the ecosystem summit. I've already reserved the community center for next June and have engaged Aransas Pathways. Jim Farnsworth has just joined our board of directors, and he is, as you know, in charge of kayaking for Aransas Pathway. So that's a really great link to work together. Okay, Texas Film Commission. As you know, Todd Hunter and Angie Flores were very instrumental in authoring the Senate Bill 32, bringing $1.5 billion over the next 10 years to the film industry. Of course, Todd is very interested in the Aransas and Nueces County film production, and it's not just the video film. There's also a digital side to this as well that I'm working to bring into the cultural district, which is something we really haven't had down here. So the very first workshop was in August, and Carla and I went to Austin and certainly got engaged there. It's not our first workshop that we've had with the Film Commission, and you know that the city of Rockport is a film-friendly certified city. So you'll see more on this as well. And you can see me sitting at Todd Hunter's desk.
Yeah,
How about that?
What is that?
How about that? Okay, next, please. Oh, this didn't turn out quite right, did it? So Mural Fest, we had our first Mural Fest, which was pretty awesome. Would you like to just go to the next slide and we'll see a quick visual. So these are just some of the significant public art added to the community. And then once again, if you could go, there you go. Oop, also didn't come out quite right, did it? So these murals tell a story, and they're fantastic. People engage in them. Literally yesterday, I was talking to a lady standing out in front of the one at Rockport Little Theater. So they're very engaging, and people love them. They tell our history. We do have funding already for Mural Fest 2026, and we're already starting to work on that. One of the opportunities is we're looking at a mosaic mural for the community and for everyone to be involved in. So more to come on that. Little teaser there. Okay, so this is pretty basic. It promotes tourism, youth engagement, memories, ecosystem, and nature. Again,
And Jennifer, I'll say, I was in Brenham a couple of weeks ago, and they have tremendous murals all around and people engaging with them. But I thought of our murals, of course, when I said that.
of course you did. And they're fantastic. I mean, they're very popular.
They're fun.
Yeah, they are. They are. Okay, this is the Datafy report. I know that the EDC has the new software. I'm at a loss right now for the name, but this is the Texas Historical Commission Datafy report, and you can just, that shows the boundaries of the 44 blocks. Shows, it's very hard to see, I believe that's 89 or 87, I'm even having a hard time looking here, % coming from Texas, and you can see the smaller numbers coming from other parts of the United States. Shows the different city visitations, state visitations, and metro area visitation areas. The majority of them are from San Antonio and Austin and Houston. That's pretty trendy. That's what we've seen consistently.
And tell me again, what does DMA stand for?
It's a metro area. I'm trying to think of what the D is. Sorry.
District or no?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say. I can find out for you, Pat.
Okay, thanks.
Or Commissioner Russo. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Maybe demographic. Oh, you just let me know.
Okay, I will. Okay. And visitor trends throughout this period of time, so up and down. You kind of correlate that. What the number I look at is the 3-day trip visitor days, because those are the days that people they've consistently come into the district. That means that they're staying here in Rockport. So 24,964 days were calculated for 3-day trip visitors. And that's what I associate back to the hotel motel.
Does that mean that there were almost 25,000 people that were here?
That come into,
days?
that it triggers off their phone, that go into the boundaries of the cultural district, and repeated for 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that, so that's about 90 days for those 3 months, not quite. Divided by the
Right, not
95.
quite.
So is that about 1,000 plus visitors a day?
So if it's July to September, it's not a full 3 months, as you mentioned. So 3-day trip visitors would be let's say 25,000 that came in repeatedly during a 3-day period of time. So,
But I meant overall for that period of time, from the 1st of July through the middle of September, it averages out to about 1,000 visitors a day. Am I reading it? Never mind.
no, I guess I just have to study it a little more to answer your
Because
question.
I couldn't quite understand those numbers, but okay.
I just see that as the number of people that continue to come, or days where people have continued to come back.
So there were
So you add all
25
those three, you add the 3 together. You're trying to divide them by the 3.
I'm just trying to figure. So for the 3-day visitor days, does that mean that there were almost 25,000 people who came into the district for 3 days?
That means their phone, yes, came into the district for 3 days.
Okay,
Yes, over that period of time.
okay.
So if you look at the number of days and divide that by the 24, that will tell you how many.
Okay, thank you.
And this just tells some demographics on the age, the household income, the ethnicity, education level. It's some interesting data. I know that the new software that the EDC has is probably 10 times more categories than this. It's almost, you get lost in the data. It's almost too much data. But what you want to look at are trends or consistencies. It's good to see our demographics and who we are attracting. The quarterly financials, you can see them here. They didn't make it, but they were intended to make it into this package. I'm not real sure what was going on, but they didn't. You've had them in the past. I'll certainly include them in our future report. And I want to mention to you, Christmas in the District is going on. If you don't know that, the lights downtown, if you haven't been by to see those, they are
Stunning.
They are stunning. Thank you. And I would encourage you to go by. The ice skating rink opened yesterday, as well as Christmas on the Beach. You know, Tropical Christmas was just this past weekend. So a lot of really cool things going on downtown. Please come down and purchase from our local merchants. They're staying open late just for you. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Day. Appreciate it. Item number, is Caitlin in here?
See her.
All right. So I am going to, we're going to skip 7, and if she shows up, we'll revisit 7. Item number 8.
I move to approve the designation of the courtroom located at 308 North Live Oak, first floor courtroom, known as the Commissioner's Court / JP Courtroom, which is within the city limits of Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, as the courtroom for the county commissioners and justice of the peace precincts 1 and 2.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? It's just designating our new courtroom that we could use it.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 9,
And that becomes effective.
right now.
All
We
right.
took a vote.
Thank you.
I move to approve the request for variance on county minimum lot size requirements to replat 2381 and 2423 State Highway 35 bypass.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Got a motion and a second.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. This is a variance request to the minimum lot size of a 1 acre lot for any lot that's being, is utilizing a water well and a septic tank to it. This replat will bring the 2 lots from lesser compliant to a more compliant state.
So is that where Mike's business is?
Yes, sir.
And because I was trying to figure out where this was on the Google map, and so Can you just give me-
It's at
On the way to
2381 and 2423 State Highway 35 bypass, so it's on the way to Aransas.
yeah, I was looking it up, but Google couldn't find it. So
yes.
there's a business there?
Yes, there's an existing
Yeah, it's a
business. there.
boat repair, fiberglass shop. There's quite a few boats sitting
Okay.
there when you pass by, and
Oh, I think I
metal
know.
buildings and stuff.
And
Thank
these new lot lines will not encroach on the existing septic systems that are on each of the lots now.
All right. Well, I like the less compliant to more compliant.
Yes, sir.
Win.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 10.
I move to approve the proposal to move foreclosure sales from the Public Safety Center located at 714 East Concho Street, Rockport, Texas, to new Aransas County Courthouse steps located at 308 North Live Oak, Rockport, Texas. This will be permanent location once the 90-day minimum for notice of change is complete, which will be on March 8, 2026.
Second.
Got a motion and a second?
Is the sheriff here?
Yes.
I just have I think it's a quick question for the sheriff maybe. And I know that we had to change the location to make it over there, but it says something about on days that are on officially designated county holidays, those sales will take place on the courthouse steps. So is that the only time that we do them on the courthouse steps?
All of them.
Usually the second Tuesday of the month. These are, we've gone online for what the county does. This is banks, mortgage companies that are conducting their own foreclosure sales. And when y'all asked me, it was my recommendation, because that's the statewide
Yeah.
guidelines. And we were just working on a different location because of the construction and the delay there. We had to take it. But now that we are in that building, I think it would make it
It'll work.
better across the state,
Okay.
people out of state, or within the state coming to an auction, we know where to go.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 11.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to execute amendment number 1 to the airport project participation agreement, text dot CSJ, colon 2416 ROCKP, for the airfield lighting and signage replacement project, and authorize payment of the additional local sponsor share in the amount of $52,326.
Second.
Got a motion second.
Good morning,
Here,
Judge.
good morning.
Commissioners. Thank you. The project was originally, the grant was originally awarded back in November of 2023. We signed on in December of that same year. As you know, with federal grants, sometimes it takes a while for the money to hit the bank, and the state, obviously can't afford to pay for the project until the money hits the bank. Well, now it finally made it there, but construction costs are different than they were in 2023, and so it's going to cost more money for the entire project. We're one of 5 airports in the project. There were 6 originally. 1 airport opted out, presumably because of costs, and so now there's the 5 airports that are left in it. So for us to stay in it and stay in the game, the ante has been raised a little bit.
And I understand this lighting is critical for us to maintain the airport at the level that it's at.
Yes, sir. That's it's a catch-22. So we could be just a daytime airport, but our grant assurances require that we have lights, and we're currently without. So we're covered legally through the NOTAM process, which is the notice to airmen, let everybody know that our lights are out legally, so they can do their homework before they arrive. But that only carries you so far. We're required to be moving toward having lights at the airport.
And we've been working on this since I've been a commissioner, and probably before that.
Yes, ma'am. It'll definitely make a lot of people breathe easier when those lights are working again.
All right. And the amount, the additional amount's $52,326.
That covers our 10% local match plus the contingency. So if we don't get into the contingency, I expect we'd get some of that back.
Sounds good.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Michael, thanks. Thank you. Item number 12.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign engagement letter with Crow LLP for outside auditing service for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second.
This is just our annual engagement letter for our auditing services. This is the same firm that did our last 2 or 3 years, I can't remember. They're getting started a little earlier, so hopefully we will be finished earlier than we were this year. They have told me they're ready to get started as soon as we get this letter signed.
That was one of my questions, because I know you really had to push them to get it done in time. And then this is the 4th of a 5-year potential engagement that we have. Are we making plans to solicit RFQs going forward, or we'll wait?
We'll wait till next year after this audit if we'll look at that. We will still have them for 1 more year. There's pros and cons to changing. I mean, it's
Right.
nice when you have somebody who's consistent and is familiar with everything. When you change, it's like starting from day 1 again. So, but I know, it gives you a better look with with us going with a bigger firm instead of somebody who's like a mom and pop that was here locally, we do have a better, I say, it doesn't perceive as somebody that's playing favorites with us or anything, so, we will definitely look at it, but may bring it back to court to continue.
Now, are we going to, at the end of next year, start looking for, going out for audit proposals again? You know, I've had problems with audits in the past that I've dealt with where if you know, just go on and on and on with the same auditor, then they end up missing things. Always get a good audit, but it's a good practice, I think, to, you know, agree with an auditor for, you know, 3 to 5 years, but over that we need to redo it again.
Yes, sir, that's what I was, just mentioning. It's, you know, there's pros and cons for it.
Right.
It's something that we will definitely look at, but at this point, you know, like I said, you know, sometimes it's great when you have somebody that's consistent, and it's an outside firm, it's a big firm, so they're a national firm.
And
so.
especially at a time where we've got so many grants and everything else that they've got to look at, I mean, it'd be difficult for anyone else to come in.
Very hard for somebody else to come in. That's one of the things that's taken a lot of time last year, because we've changed, you know, they bought out the company prior, so they had a learning curve on it.
Okay.
Then they had a bunch of staff change this time, so they had a learning curve on it, so.
Okay.
They've assured me that the same staff will be here this time, that we will not have the long wait that
That's
we
good.
did, so.
Good deal.
I had one other question. So the letterhead is based in Houston, and that's fine. But in the contract, it says that any arbitration or court action is confined to Chicago, Illinois.
I think it's basically the same as when we get a insurance policy and it's wherever their home office is. They do have offices all over the U.S., and I think they're actually an international company, so.
Yeah. And I know you're happy with their work, and that means a lot. And if they said they'll get it to us sooner, that means a lot too. Being from Illinois, anything that involves Chicago and Cook County is very suspect.
We will definitely make sure that we don't have to have that.
Okay, and Marcia, I hope you're listening in here.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 13.
I move to approve resolution number R-40-2025, a joint resolution for joint, says joint, I think it should be joint primary election to be held on March 3rd, 2026, and the joint primary runoff election, if necessary, on May 26, 2026.
I'll second that.
Got a motion second?
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Good morning. So with approval of this resolution, it gives our parties the authority to contract with my office to run their primary election jointly. And this will allow us to continue doing our primaries the way we've done them here in Aransas County in the past.
And are you going to mention the decision last?
Yes, so the Commissioners Court did adopt those new changes to our precincts last week, and those are now in effect due to the Supreme Court's stay on that lower court's order.
So we're the trailblazers.
Yeah.
We are.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. I struck number 14. Item number 15.
I move to authorize the county judge to sign a project management plan between the Department of Army and Aransas County for the Gulf Intercoastal Waterways CAP 204 beneficial use of dredge material project.
Shouldn't that say Army Corps of Engineers? Army and Army Corps of Engineers are two different things.
The agreement, I believe, said Army Corps, or Department of Army, but it is the Army Corps of Engineers, but their agreement actually
Says Army.
says Army Corps.
Okay.
This is the same, project that we've been working on within, we are the pass-through
Yeah.
between,
Goose Island and
yes, this is Goose Island, we are the pass-through between the state and the federal government.
We didn't get a second, sorry.
Well, do I need to change my motion to say Army Corps of
No.
Engineers?
no.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second.
So it's just either an extension or it's a new plan that basically is the same as the old plan that's running out.
What this is, we did a PPA previously was just to participate. This is actually the work plan, the plan that they're doing. It's going to be done in 2 phases. This is phase 1, which will be, I think, what do they call them?
But it is, when they dredge the intercoastal, they're bringing the spoil
They're
to
bringing
around
it
Goose
over,
Island where the
right,
Parks
to
and
build
Wildlife
up,
wants to
yes.
re-nourish the place.
Yes, where they're renourishing
Project,
Goose
yeah.
Island.
And this is another one of those projects that have been lingering for a couple of years.
And it will go on because the 26 is phase 1, 27 is phase 2, so it is going to be multiple
Yeah,
years.
because
It-
they dredge periodically, and it's just
Mhm.
going to be when they're dredging, I think.
Yes, sir, and there is no cost to the county. This is all funded by GLO. GLO gives us the funds, and then we turn around and give them to the Army Corps.
We are not fronting the money.
No. No, it is paid once we receive the funds from GLO, then they are turned over to the Army Corps of Engineers.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Item number 16.
I move to approve the Aransas County Indigent Healthcare Report for November 2025.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Is anyone from the treasurer's office online? No?
Don't see them here either.
All right. There was one hospital stay for 30,000. I just was curious what the number of days of that stay was. I asked my husband, who's in healthcare, and he said probably 1. So I'll just get with Sarita.
The sheriff, is he gone? Do you know anything about that?
It wasn't an inmate, it was
Oh.
indigent health.
Really?
Yeah,
Man.
okay.
All right, well,
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
aye, motion passes. Item number 17 was struck. Item number 18.
Move to approve accounts payable and payroll liabilities.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second.
Yes, the accounts payable. Stay on.
The other one's working.
Just hand her that one.
Well, that one, they took that one away from me too.
Why'd you just change microphones?
We did,
Oh.
and then that one.
They're all dead.
The accounts payable and payroll liabilities are normal. We do have a couple of things. We have Hanson with our MITMOD for our street projects. We paid $43,322.80. And for the courthouse, we had an expense of $2,543.85.
To whom?
I don't know, that's why I
Oh,
want to
okay.
look and see. I usually write it down, and I didn't this time, so let me look real quick. Basically, it was just miscellaneous things from builders, First Source, Ace Hardware, and Amazon, some miscellaneous like door stops, monitors, IT grommets, just small in miscellaneous items. But other than that, everything was normal expenses.
All right.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye, motion passes. Now we hear from reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. No action will be taken. Commissioners, do you have anything? All right. I did want to mention, I did have on my list to mention the new text dot signs up in Lamar. We got that deer crossing sign, so hopefully makes it a little bit safer.
Only got one?
I don't think it probably.
Judge, we also have a new area maintenance supervisor here. If Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Zavala would like to introduce
Yeah, would you
him.
like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Push that or just talk?
It's on.
Oh, it's on. My name's Daniel Brown, new Rockport Maintenance Section Supervisor. Started last Monday, so please feel free to reach out with any concerns, problems, and we'll do our best to take care of everything that we need to.
When are y'all gonna open up the crossover at Corpus Christi Street? I get more questions
Oh, yeah.
than underpants.
We handle that out of the area office. That should be soon. If you need an exact date, I can get back with you on that.
Nah, just get it done.
Could you say your title again, please? I got your name.
Maintenance Section Supervisor.
All right, thank you.
And I just say reach out to commissioners, make sure, and myself, make sure they have your contact. 'Cause
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Will do.
appreciate you.
Y'all have
Thank
a
you.
good day.
Thank you.
And then I did want to mention the courthouse move. My office, Indigent Care, HR, it looks like everybody's in the courtroom except, in the courthouse, except for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1. She's still in the library. It wasn't a priority because we're not paying rent there. But she should be moving by the end of the year or right after the new year. And then, of course, the county clerk, district clerk, and court at law judge, we still got some modifications to do, and we're hoping to move them in soon. But again, have a little bit of grace. I guess the treasurer's not here because she just moved maybe Thursday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's a little disarray at the courthouse, but we're getting through it. And then I do want to say here in court, I'm going to cancel the burn ban. And it's supposed to cancel, on the 25th or 22nd?
26th.
26th, so it's a couple weeks early. And the fire chiefs were okay with it, fire marshal's okay with it. And we had a lot of rain recently, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep an eye on it. And if we need to, on the 22nd or on the next meeting, go back into it. And that's all I have. Now we'll hear about reports about items of community interest. Anybody have anything? All right. Do we need? Nope. We don't need to go into closed session,
don't.
so I'll entertain a motion to
Move to adjourn.
Adjourn.
I'll second that.
Hold on a sec. Daryl, did you have something?
What's that?
January 28th.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. We're going to go back to reports of elected officials. So we're planning to doing a ribbon cutting for the new courthouse on January 28th, and it's going to coincide with. You might have to.
The rededication of the historical marker.
Okay, rededication of the historical marker and something else, right?
And then the ribbon cutting for the community center.
Okay.
Everything will happen on the same day.
And what day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday.
And do you have a time?
We're planning on 3 p.m., 3 to 5.
Perfect. Thank you.
So now we have the move to adjourn, and that was seconded.
Let me add to that real quick too. So the time capsule inside the Sesquicentennial Committee is looking to not overshadow the ribbon cutting for the courthouse. So we're looking at probably mid to late February for that, but I'll keep y'all posted.
That's a nice presentation. That is nice.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to adjourn, and we have a second.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye. Motion passes. We are done. it's the 8th day of December 2025, and it is 10:03, and we're going to start a workshop. And this workshop is immediately following Commissioners Court and the County Court at Law courtroom located at 2718 Highway 35 North, Rockport, Texas 78382. Roll call.
There you go.
Commissioner Cheney?
Here.
Commissioner Castleline?
Here.
Commissioner Russo?
Here.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Here.
Judge Garza?
Here. Got a full quorum. All right, items for deliberation and or discussion. We're going to be reviewing ongoing projects. It's just an update. Ms. L.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So at the end of December 2024, Jackie had done a summary of the projects, and so we were just following up with an additional summary of projects from all of this year. You all should have received the summary and had a chance to review it. And we're just going to go through each project, basically like project by project, so we can kind of all understand where we're at the moment. Jackie and Tish will definitely be jumping in. And then Anchor QEA is here to speak about Shell Ridge. And then we have Stantec, I believe they're online, to speak about Lamar Beach and where we are with that project. So the first project that we're going to start with is the Shell Ridge. Okay. So this project is to protect Shell Ridge Road and increase the roadway resiliency against storm surge. And that's going to be done through putting breakwaters out in the water, and then also doing a living shoreline along the edge, about 250 to 350 feet of shoreline to help increase the stability of the roadway. So currently, the match for this is 68.9% federal and 31.1% for local share. That local share for the county is about $1.265 million. The funding for this project is planning on being done through the Go Mesa as far as the match, the local share. And then we have local funds that we can go ahead and, what is it? A bond.
We do have a bond issue that was voted in 2020 for matches for the grants that was 1.29 million. We could use that rather than the Go Mesa funds, one or the other.
Okay.
Okay.
So are there any grants that Go Mesa funds couldn't be used on? Because if we use that money from the bond all, then we have Go Mesa left to do
If
other
we were
grants.
going to do one of the other shoreline projects, yes. I mean, it has to be something that is basically with the shoreline.
I would think that would be something that when you decide which money to use, because if you only have Go Mesa, maybe you have grants that you can't use Go Mesa on.
Exactly.
Right, and I believe that bond is only, though, for Lamar Beach and for Shell Ridge.
Yes.
Correct?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only for those two. We couldn't use it for any other projects but those two.
Maybe just will use it then.
Yeah. And so Anchor QEA is here to kind of give us an update on what's happened in the last couple of weeks regarding some discoveries that they have. They did some shoreline survey, and they did find some seagrass out there, so they're going to give us a little bit of update on that, and then where some of the paths that we can have to go forward for this project.
No Indian artifacts like the other one?
No dinosaur
So
bones.
this is Ian Fisher.
Morning, Ian.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. So, as you guys probably know, the original permit for Shell Ridge Road expires at the end of this year, right? So the first thing that we wanted to do was get the extension of time on that permit. So that was the first step that we took.
And that's from the Corps.
Yes, ma'am. That's from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That was a 5-year permit that was issued back in 2020. So it's been going on for a while. You guys know that. We went with the minimal approach of just submitting the existing extension of time request to try and save the county money and hopefully time, knowing that the Corps could come back and ask for some things. I think I've told you guys before when we were here for the addendum a couple months ago they did come back and ask for a list of items. One of those was an updated seagrass survey. We again went with kind of a minimalist approach, went out and just checked seagrass in the footprint of where the breakwaters are proposed to go. The Corps was okay with that. We ended up finding seagrass in footprints of some of the breakwaters. So once we did that, we decided to fly our drone. So we flew our drone that whole shoreline so we could take aerial imagery and see what the extent of the seagrass is. We ended up delineating the seagrass from that aerial imagery, and it's quite extensive. So we talked to the Corps about that. They and we figured that NMFS, National Marine Fisheries Service, was going to be our biggest hurdle now going forward with all the essential fish habitat that is. So we decided to have a meeting with them, kind of get in front of things, had things off at the pass before we just submitted all the new data, kind of surprised them, and then they come back with extensive requirements. So we did talk through a lot of things with them. You know, overall, I think it was good that we reached out early and started coordination early. They are coming back with some requirements. They're not as stringent as they could be. We will have to do an essential fish habitat assessment, which is a little bit above and beyond what the original RAI was requiring from the Corps of Engineers. We are, throughout the project, going to have to demonstrate ecological lift so that we don't have no net loss out there. They're going to want to see, you know, an increase in seagrass behind the breakwaters once the breakwaters are constructed, which is kind of the purpose of a living shoreline project, right? We anticipate seeing more seagrass. So usually seagrass mitigation is a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you impact 1 acre, you need to have 3 acres of seagrass. We still need to finish our delineation. Right now we estimate 0.36 acres of impacts. So that means at the end we need to have 1.08 acres of new seagrass behind the breakwaters. And they're going to require us to monitor that for a period of 3 years. So not too bad. They're not requiring a 12-step compensatory mitigation plan, which could cost a lot more time and a lot more money. That could be up to 5 years plus of monitoring. So we were kind of happy with the outcome of that conversation with NMFS, considering that we found seagrass in the footprint of the project.
So how abundant is the seagrass between where the breakwaters are going to be and the beach?
There's seagrass there for sure. It's
so
kind
it's
of
good. You already have base that's already
right.
there, better than planting.
Yeah, and once the breakwaters go in, it should still that water behind it and give that seagrass a chance to spread.
So what is the proposed construction of the breakwater? Do you have one? How are you proposing they're going to be built?
We typically leave that up to the contractor. You know, we probably will have to determine whether we come in from the road or from by barge.
No, I mean the design of it.
I'm not
Materials?
Oh, they just.
Like, what's it going to look like? Are you
What's it
gonna
going to
see
look
rocks?
like?
Oh
Is
yeah,
it
you'll see
gonna
rocks.
be?
Yeah, it'll be elevated out of the water. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yep. It has to because, you know, because it's funded by FEMA. You know, part of it.
It's similar to the stuff that's in Mesquite Bay and up in there, or
Yeah,
where it has interlocking
it'll be rock.
slabs or rock.
It'll be rock. Yeah. Yes, sir. Any questions on the core?
Well, I think there were some proposals, and I don't know if that was from your company or from a different one, because I wasn't in that meeting, but where there was a desire to have a ditch on the home side of the road and then run pipes, culverts or something under the road. And in conversation, that does not seem like it's the better path. So has that plan been scrapped, or are you still looking at that?
There will still have to be some method of conveyance for stormwater from the homes out to the bay now that we're raising the road by 1 foot.
Right,
Yes.
but
I don't know exactly what that looks like yet.
Okay,
we
but
we
you-
paused on the design until
Right.
we didn't want to spend that money until we could figure out some of these other issues.
okay.
Make sure that they weren't going to kill the project or anything like that.
And then is there a problem with needing other permits, like there ended up with, I think, Lamar?
Yes, I'll talk about the GLO here in a second, but I'm just going to give you guys a chance to digest the core stuff and see if you have any
Oh, okay.
questions on that before going into that.
you don't really see any problems that are gonna be unsurmountable for moving forward, though, as far as your design work on the water side right now?
Not from a core and seagrass perspective. I mean, there's going to be new requirements that we're going to have to address that I outlined with the 3 years of monitoring. We're going to have to be pretty careful when we do the construction to make sure we don't impact any more than is absolutely necessary. We'll have to do the EFH assessment, so it's a little bit more involved, and it's no longer an extension of time request. It's now a permit modification, which means time.
That 3 years of monitoring, is that gonna add extra cost to the project, or is that considered? It will.
Yep. So for that shoreline, the length of shoreline, if you're doing it with the most stringent methodologies, that could be 40 to 50,000 a year for a seagrass survey. We'd like to talk to the Corps and see, like this time, how we flew a drone. Maybe a couple of those years we can just go out there, do a drone flight, delineate off the aerial imagery, reduce that cost. But it's going to be up to Corps and NIMS if they buy into that.
So how deep is the water where the breakwater is going to be, and how much grass is seaward of the breakwater?
There's quite a bit of grass seaward as well. Yeah, there's grass on both sides.
So what's the depth of the water where you plan on building the?
It varies along the shoreline, but -2 to -5 probably. You know, down there towards the south, it drops off quite a bit quicker into the channel, and then you have a little bit more of a flat as you go north towards the cattle docks. Yeah. Okay, so now the GLO. So back in 2019, Naismith Marine did a coastal boundary survey, which is required to be submitted to the General Land Office Survey Group for acceptance before you can do a GLO lease, which is leasing, you know, the submerged bottom is what is owned by the state, while the water is owned by the Corps of Engineers.
Sir, can you speak up just a little bit louder?
Yes, sorry.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
So this coastal boundary survey was done back in 2019. I don't know if that was submitted to the state. There's no record of it. According to the GLO, it should have been. We still can coordinate with the GLO survey group. There's different groups within the GLO. Not all of them know what the other one is doing. So that coordination, we still need to figure out if it was ever even submitted. The other part of that is there was a public meeting that was held on November 15th of 2019 with all the residents out at Shell Ridge Road. I know Mont McDonald did a presentation. There was some surveys handed out with some feedback. From my understanding, the feedback was generally positive about the project back then. You know, that was 6 years ago. Harvey was still pretty fresh in people's minds. But there's something called a letter of no objection that the GLO requires from homeowners for any projects that are 1,000 feet from their property. To my knowledge, those were never pursued. I'm not sure why, but they don't exist, and they're required in order for the GLO to issue a lease. So there is no lease. That still needs to be done. We don't know if the coastal boundary survey that was done is going to be accepted because it's almost 7 years old at this point. So the purpose of the coastal boundary survey is to show where the shoreline is. Obviously, the shoreline has probably changed there in the last almost decade, so it's likely that you'll need to go get a new coastal boundary survey that shows the more updated shoreline. And then at the same time, we're also going to have to go do more public outreach, which we were planning to do anyway, but we'll have to get these letters with no objection from all the homeowners in order to get that GLO lease.
And the work that was done by Naismith in 2019, did the county pay for that work?
I would assume so, yes. So I still have some gaps. I don't know where that fell off. We're still digging around. We did meet with the GLO Friday, their survey office here in Corpus Christi. Some of those folks were around back then. They do remember the project. They're familiar with it. And from their understanding, they never got the letters of no objection to continue forward with their review on the lease.
And the time frame to get that work done?
The survey group at GLO is pretty slow right now. So it could be, I would say it's probably pretty similar to the permit modification. Could be anywhere from 6 months to a year.
that letter of no rejection would require 100% of the people along that shoreline, the property owners along that shoreline?
Yes and no. So to design it and build it as it stands, you would have to have a letter of no objection from each property owner. You could theoretically remove that portion of the project in front of a property owner that objects to it, but then of course that changes the dynamic of the design. So that adds different challenges.
But anything that you build is gonna, I mean, if you leave out what's in front of their property, the rest of it is still gonna affect their
Right.
property.
Yeah, because then you're going to have waves that are focused in that
Gonna
gap.
change the wave action
and it's going
along
to
that
cause
shoreline.
probably worse erosion in that gap if you don't address
Increase
it
the
another
rate of
way.
erosion.
So some of these documents that we can't find, can you get those, like the titles, and see if Colin could do a search of our files? Maybe we have them electronically somewhere, maybe not, but just to do a search, unless you've already done that. Okay.
We kind of searched through a lot of the old emails
Okay.
and have not been able to locate anything. And that's why Ian's been going and actually talking with the local GLO, down in Corpus Christi, talking with them directly to see where they at, if they had them, if they could provide them back to us.
And what was,
Letters of no objections, there's no record of those at all. It was just, I know I had seen an email, and I can't remember if it was Lamar or if it was for Shell Ridge, but it was like, 30 people were okay with it, but 17 people objected.
Okay.
So that's not your 100% that you're required, that you need to do the project.
Well, it sounds like that's something probably needs to be done pretty soon. I mean, probably gonna come down to knocking on doors and talking to people, or somebody.
Right. And so like when Ian and I, when we first started this project, we had kind of set up a timeline, and we had talked about January would be when we would have a public meeting, but we were planning on a public meeting with 100% plans. Like Ian said, they've stopped on the plan part because we don't want to have them continue moving forward with something that we're paying for as a county, but may not be able to even implement.
I
So-
would think you wanna get people to sign off that before you spend any money.
They might not want to sign off if there's no plans.
Right, so it's kind of like, do we go forward? We have the design, the Mott McDonald design, which is going to be very similar to what I believe Ian, the Anchor QEA, is going to be following, because that's what we have to do, because we have the FEMA money, the FEMA TDM. We've already been approved through them. So that's the design that we pretty much have to follow. But now we need to go back, and we need to go back with the property owners and be like, we need these letters of no objection, and we need 100%.
Yeah.
So that's going to come back to a public meeting. If we decide, if you commissioners and judge decide that we want to keep moving forward with this project, that would probably be the first step, is that we need to have some kind of a public meeting with the residents, explain to them what happened. This happened back in 2019. We're coming back, we have to get these letters from you. They had the public meeting. I don't know who was there, I wasn't there. I don't know if any commissioners were there or not, but we don't know exactly what the conversation was during that public meeting.
Well, I remember the one that the people from Lamar, and Fulton Beach Road, they were over the top. Well, Lamar wasn't as bad, but the people from Shell Ridge were like, well, we're fine. Go ahead and start us first. So they were pretty overwhelmingly different from the others. But how much money have we expended from the grant already?
We have not expended anything from that grant. We don't have anything. That is another layer on this issue. We received a call in November from Cone Resnick wanting us to do a extension of time. Our time for this project goes
would
to
you
May.
explain who Cone Resnick is,
Cone
please?
Resnick is TDM's auditors. They're
Okay,
their grant
okay, thank
managers,
you.
actually, grant managers. Our project, we have a POP, which is period of performance through May 22nd of 26. They're asking us and asked us, and we did do extension requests for another additional year. because FEMA is looking at pulling all of this funding. Since the projects haven't been started, all of the 404 mitigation projects, FEMA is looking at pulling that funding. And if they do that, we won't have any FEMA funding for these projects. I have not received notification of any extensions being approved at this time. Like I said, we just sent them in a couple of weeks ago, so it may take a little bit of time before we even know whether we'll still have our FEMA funding.
So even potentially having public meetings and like that may be all for naught if we don't get
And
FEMA.
this is, yeah, and this is for Shell Ridge, Lamar, and the Phase 2 generators, which is the detention center, the Public Safety Center, and Fulton Elementary. If FEMA does pull that funding, then, you know, everything is gone.
So that's for that recommendation to extend that for one more year.
I asked for it, whatever they would give us, you know, but a year, and I don't know that a year would be even enough. I mean, if you're looking at almost a year for maybe for permitting and stuff, I don't know. I don't know that we will have the FEMA funding available.
Well, if we don't have the FEMA funding,
It-
we're not
it's-
gonna have the
we
money to
can't,
do it.
Because that, you know, Shell Ridge, they're showing, and this is just FEMA's, estimate for it was 4 million, for Shell Ridge. Lamar was almost 8 million. So you're looking at, you know, there's no way if we don't have the funding.
And if, I would think if what Mr. Fisher was saying about the timeline for, you know, they like the data to be most current. So, I mean, the data we have today, it might be, what we're looking at 2 or 3 years before we even go back and start back at this again, and potentially.
Well, you would have to go for another grant of some type.
Yeah, you could go for another grant. I mean, we could also help with the language if you need to go back and renew this POP, because you wouldn't have an extension of time required on your permit if FEMA hadn't taken so long to review the projects the last 5 years.
But the fact of the matter is that they did. And here's where we are. With no guarantee of money.
And I'm just thinking about, you're talking about needing to go back and do another assessment of the seagrass and things. How long will that be effective for if you went for a grant or something like that?
For a grant application, like
Well, I mean, like going back for a core permit or something like that, or for, you know, GLO permits. That's what I'm curious about. Do we want to, at what point do we stop moving forward on anything?
But if you're going to look at another grant opportunity, CMP or some of the other grants that might be available, I mean, the data would definitely help and be beneficial to have it on hand and have it, you know, ready to go.
Have it available.
But
yeah, habitat surveys are usually good for about 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, the location of Shell Ridge is there is only the one way in, one way out for the residents that live there, which is different than Lamar and different than Fulton Beach. So that becomes.
Have y'all ever looked at, is there a feasible way to make another way out?
Jerry Brundrett had kind of looked at that, but the county has abandoned all of the other right-of-ways. All we have is Shell Ridge, Bay Vista to a point, which is actually just an alley. It's only a 20-foot alleyway. And then we have Sand Fiddler, Paula's Reef, and I think that very end one is also called Shell Ridge or Bay Vista, the very corner down there where it loops around. So the other escape or other roadways, right-of-ways have all been abandoned by the county.
Jerry has looked at this extensively, and I've been in a couple of meetings with him talking about this project. This is the option. The other options don't work. I mean, they're not even options.
The other options probably wouldn't cost $5 million either.
Well, you're going
Maybe
through
getting
wetlands.
a boat to transport people across the flooded.
Yeah.
Are those properties that
Wetlands.
we have given up the right-of-ways or easements on, are they constructed on, or are they still open properties?
I don't think they're open properties.
Yeah.
They're mainly in that lake out there, I think.
Yeah, that
was
slough
looked
behind.
at once before.
Do you
Reason
know
I was
how much
asking-
we've spent on this so far?
I'm not aware of exactly if anything, it would just be engineering, which we were going to have to pay for by ourselves anyway. Other than that, there was some engineering from Mont McDonald and stuff that we've already been reimbursed, or we're working on reimbursements for it.
The reason I was asking about the right of way though, is because like, AEP has their utility, line on the, I'm gonna say the north, or the west side of that, subdivision. And, you know, normally they would go into a, public utility right of way. And there shouldn't be any construction going on that, but so I don't know if they were built in, at that time, you know, they might have been done with a prescription of easement or not, or maybe not in in a county or city.
Well,
Right
Jerry
away.
could probably look because they might have abandoned the road. You can abandon the roadway and
And
leave
keep
it a
the-
utility easement.
Right, right.
Jack, what were you gonna say?
They were in 2 phases, and phase 1 has been paid and they're done, both of them. It's just phase 2, which is the construction part of it, that, because we did a feasibility study prior, those have all been reimbursed. It's just phase 2, and we don't have anything reimbursed on phase 2.
So some of the original work we paid for and we have been reimbursed through grant proceeds.
That was phase 1. They were two
Okay,
separate
okay.
projects, 2 separate.
I just
grants.
want to see how much we're hanging out there.
So we don't have the liability to pay any of that back.
No, sir,
if we
not for
don't
the
do the job.
feasibility study. If no.
How would we continue to pay Anchor QEA or whoever else might need to be utilized to perform the rest of the work?
Those funds we were proposing to pay through Go Mesa money because they are having to redo the project since we had to re-procure engineering.
So we would have funding through Go Mesa, okay?
Yes, sir, and, you know, we haven't seen it, I haven't seen any invoices, or right off the top of my head, I can't. But that's what we would use.
But we have funding through Go Mesa
Yes,
for the proposed costs on here.
Yes.
But if FEMA pulls the 4 million plus,
we don't have enough in Go Mesa to pay
Right.
for the full project, no ma'am.
Right, and that's where we would go out and we would start looking for other grants to fund the project.
And unfortunately, had a meeting with Tatum several months ago, a year ago or so, and because we did not do this work, if we had another storm and more damage, they would not pay anything on it because we did not do the original grant. So we would have to look for other grant opportunities.
but if we continue down this path, looking for other money, we might have a permit that expires again. We might have new studies that have to be procured again, because there's no way of telling if and when we would get another grant to fund
Yes,
the rest
ma'am.
of this cost.
I guess the first thing we need is those letters of no objection.
Mm-hmm.
And the renewal,
Yeah.
extension.
And the extension, yeah.
To
I
me,
haven't.
you need those things before you start. I don't think, you can't do any design work that if you don't have letters from the people that live there that could stop it, because, I mean, we've had to pay grants back before because we spent money and it didn't, and the deal fell through. You don't want to get in a situation where we have to pay the money back if we get stuff from the grant.
But that still leaves the paperwork we need from the GLO. Okay. So we're not taking action, we're just talking today.
Right, we're just talking. All right, so that's Sarah Ridge and Lamar Beach. Is Lamar Beach here the same situation?
It's the
So-
same grant?
I'm
Same-
sorry?
That's the same grant, Lamar Beach?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So Lamar Beach is in the same situation. However, the local share for that one is that $3.94 million, which we would not have in Go Mesa money, which we would not have in the bond money. And again, we don't have the coastal lease at the moment. Colin, is Stantec, Luis from Stantec online? He may be able to speak a little bit because they have been working on the Army Corps of Engineer permit
I'm here.
for us, the extension. Hi, Luis.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Can you share a little bit about Lamar Beach and where we are?
Yeah, so obviously Shell Ridge is a little bit farther ahead than Lamar. As far as Lamar, we've submitted the extension of time request to the Corps. We've already knew that for Lamar, they requested the new surveys. We're expecting that, but at least in our request, we've kind of pushed a little bit and said, hey, like in this situation, we're a little bit different. Can we avoid that? We doubt it. So we've already submitted also a scope of work to the county for that next part, which would be, our expectation would be to have to do a new seagrass survey along the breakwater footprint along the area. Difference here though is we're much farther offshore in Lamar Beach than Shell Ridge. So hopefully in that location, it's less likely that we would see seagrass within our footprint and have to make those many changes. But of course, we don't know anything for sure until we survey it. The other piece of that, of course, being so that's just one part for the permit. Like we'd expect, worst case, we'd have to do a new seagrass survey, new boundary survey for the core boundary survey, and then obviously we're in the same boat for the GLO lease side of things, and there is some documentation there. Kind of, I've been sharing with Elle on that, and it looks like similar to Shell, the lease application was submitted. I believe in January of 2020, and then the GLO had responded to that, and that's the first time where they had requested the letters of no objection, and then a letter was sent back saying, hey, we don't have those letters, but here's the documentation of the public outreach that's been done. So that's where some of that data is on, okay, here's how many people said yay or nay, or kind of the general feedback, documentation of the public notices. And then that's where my trail runs cold. I think at that point, either something got lost in the mix or a response, but we didn't have a response on that. And that's where we got into this piece. So, but regardless, to move this one forward, permit wise, we've got that extension, and then the big piece, to proceed as planned, we definitely have to get all of those letters of no objection. And I know Elle, you've done already some early outreach there on that piece of it, right?
Right. So when I was applying for the KEPR grant for the $500,000 to cover the engineering for this project, Commissioner Dupnick and we actually met. There was 4 homeowners that actually have property that is on the water side, which is different than Shell Ridge, where everybody has property on the water side. There was only 4. Out of the 4, one person contacted and wanted to have a meeting with us. So we actually went out there and we met with Mr. Hill, spent about an hour and a half having a conversation with him, left him the letter, like a letter of no objection. Whenever you have a chance, if you could sign this and send it back, that would be great. Did not receive that back from him, did not receive anything back from the other 3. And then in addition to that, those are the 4 property owners that have the property, but there's also the people with the piers. And so we would also have to go back and touch base with all of the people who have piers out there in Lamar Beach also, and contact them, try to get letters of no objection from them also. And I haven't started that.
So if you have piers, would the piers, do they currently go out past where the breakwaters would be?
So I can't remember for sure on Lamar Beach, but I think they go right to the edge of some of the piers. I know in Shell Ridge that they definitely go along where the piers are at, and some piers are out farther than where the breakwaters are.
Yeah, there's a mix of some piers go past on the east side, some piers go past the breakwaters, and some piers are inside of the breakwater field.
So,
in Lamar.
Don't you normally stagger the breakwaters where possibly you could stagger them where the piers are?
So the design was incorporated to allow access from that piece, and you could stagger, but I think generally like the GLO opinion, or not the opinion, the statute that they're kind of quoting is saying within 1,000 feet. So the fact that they're within 1,000 feet of the piers, and we don't have the ability to go farther than 1,000 feet to avoid that, means we'd have to, get those letters regardless.
So back to Shell Ridge, how far offshore are the breakwaters?
But your recommendation in this summary of work projects that we received says that at this point, this project, Lamar Beach Road, does not look economically feasible because we don't have those leases.
We don't have the county doesn't have the money to support the grant.
And if you actually have approached those people with a letter of support and you can get them back, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, that probably is a
Yeah.
message.
In the conversation we had with one gentleman, pretty much you could understand he wasn't going to sign it. And the sad thing about it is with that, this is just my opinion, not being an engineer, but with his property not getting a barrier, there's actually a little, I won't say call it not a peninsula, but a point. And you would think that would really increase the erosion on that point if that was left off the project and probably cause erosion in different areas. And so anyway, but again, when we left him, there was impression he wasn't gonna sign it, no matter what, so.
If I remember, one of the problems that we had with Shell Ridge before was the guy had bought a sailboat, and they were having trouble, not a sailboat, but a nice boat, and the way the original design was, it wasn't gonna let him be able to get up into his mooring station. Yeah, you remember that? We spent quite a bit of time on that.
Yeah, I wasn't at that meeting. That was before me.
Yeah. But I think right now, Lamar, but especially, we just need to knock it off our work list because of the cost.
We'll
What
work on
doesn't
that.
look like we're gonna get the letters of no objection. We don't have the leases and we don't have the money.
Well, if we don't have the money to do it, do we even need to go for the letters?
No, if we didn't,
Stop right here.
right. And so Stantec will complete because they've already been contracted to do the Army Corps of Engineer permit. So they already have that in the works. So we may end up getting that back and you might see that, but that's a different, we've already contracted with them a few
Well,
months ago.
Stantec is doing some work associated with that. Daryl, maybe you can answer this. Some of the work Stantec is doing there at Lamar Beach Road, that ties into your drainage project too, doesn't it?
The scope did overlap right there at Fourth and Lamar Beach Road. We can make it a go. It's the Lamar Beach the Lamar drainage project itself, but it is going to make it's going to change how Lamar Beach Road rides right now. We're going to have to raise it up right there where we make our crossing. We're going to put in a box culvert there. Originally, we thought that project, the Lamar Beach project, would happen first, set us up with the box culvert and the roadway building up, and we would just tie into it with the Lamar drainage project. But now we're going to be the one leading that charge.
And that would still affect the Army Corps of Engineer permit, would it?
I think on that one.
That would be a different permit because that's with Hanson.
Yeah, that one I think they were still
National.
trying to do it nationwide because of the footprint that they're going to have on just tying into the bay itself and not having to go offshore.
That's right, the nationwide permit with what we're.
All right.
So Jackie, have the bond that you were talking about that was for those two projects, have the bonds been sold yet?
No, sir.
Okay.
How long can we hold on to the bonds before they are sold?
10 years. After 10 years, it drops off. I already checked with Bob Henderson about
How much
that.
time do we have left on those?
5 years.
5 years, okay.
All right, well, thank you. Elle, what's the next one?
Little Bay drainage.
The Little Brain Drainage Improvement Project.
Lamar
We
Beach
already
drainage.
canceled that one.
How about Lamar Beach drainage? Did we talk about that?
So, you want to come up with that?
That's a drainage that goes back toward the golf course and that area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That one's ongoing. It's under design. I think we should have some 60% drawings in January or February.
Where's the funding from that one? From us or?
It's our GLO MITMOD grant.
Okay.
So it's not involved in this package today?
Not in this.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
No.
All right, so we got, oh, it was
Basin
on.
39? Is it
Basin 39? You got an update on Basin 39, Elle?
It basically went away because the funding was not approved by GLO to add it to the
Oh, it was
grant,
accepted. There we go.
to the C270.
Okay.
All right, we already had a Cap 204.
Cedar Bayou?
Cedar Bayou.
Cedar Bayou is done.
It's done?
It is finished. The 2-year monitoring is complete and it is done. Paid the last invoice. We're waiting for our last bit of reimbursement and we'll be closing that project.
So Aaron, on Cedar Bayou, what do we need to go on for? Do we need to periodically have it looked at or?
Gonna
you were
update
gonna-
on that.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So right now we are working with the Coastal Bend Bays and Estuaries program to get that permit amendment. So right now there is a 10-year maintenance dredging permit through the Corps that the county got in 2020. So it's good till 2030, but there's always been a discussion about adding a beneficial use piece to it to put material upland on the refuge side.
Yeah.
And so benefits everybody, and it allows for smaller dredging events to happen as opposed to the large, $8-10 million dollar
So since the
programs.
Fish and Wildlife wants the material, maybe they would fund the dredging?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, yeah, who knows where the funding would
Yeah.
come from at that point.
And
But
with them supporting it, that's a pretty good thing.
right. So the idea is right now is just securing that permit amendment, which it's grant funded, so you guys aren't paying anything for that. And we're right in the middle of finalizing some of the cultural resources reviews and citing that upland area for the dewatering. So we're kind of on the downhill of that, and then we'll get that application together, get it into the Corps. There will be a lot of back and forth with them, but we've already met with them, the Corps and some of the agencies twice now, and this was last year with Heart Research Institute, because they did a feasibility study looking at these smaller dredging events that this upland DMPA would help support. So
Are they still doing sampling up in there like
yes,
they were?
yeah. So they actually got additional grant funding, which is great because the basis of the whole thing is to be able to describe that whenever it's open, the fish, the nectin, everything are there utilizing it. And without that data, we had great data before the 2014 opening and all through the monitoring that showed after it was open, everything just went through the roof, and then that dropped off. So now they're starting that back up again. So they've gone out twice. They went out, I think, in February last year and then October, and they'll be going back out again in February this year.
I don't know if everybody else here knows what the gist of their sampling was, that even when it's not very deep, the amount of fish larvae and stuff that go in is greater than any other place that they sample.
Yep. Yeah, correct.
Greater than Port Aransas, greater than other places.
Mm-hmm. And you think about some of these, the nectin, almost microscopic, but then some of these juvenile redfish and flounder and trout, they're on the order of less than an inch long. So how much water you need for that, and then for the adults to go through 6 inches or so. So I mean that's
because they said that was something they didn't expect to find.
Yeah.
It was a surprise to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So the last survey that they did, all the samples were full of all kinds of good little critters. So
So you said that's grant funded. Who is paying that grant? Where's that money coming?
that's coming from the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust.
But Hart got that grant themselves, didn't they?
Who did?
We're not involved with that
No,
grant.
no, no,
just
no.
Hart.
That went outside. That was the estuaries
Yeah.
program because we were originally trying to get the money through, or the refuge was, and then they handed it over to the estuaries program, and we have a long-standing relationship with them.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we'll pick that up. So
The Coastal Bay bit?
correct.
Cool. Thank you. Aquarium, yay. So,
Seems like we've had a long lull in this.
Right. So Roy Lewis is online, so he'll be able to speak also. So back in October, on October 27th, right? So over a month ago, Roy came, Mr. Lewis came. He did a presentation to the commissioners, but it was just a presentation. It wasn't an action item. And during that conversation, Commissioner Cheney brought up the fact about the generator is actually over on the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's property. So there was discussion about getting a letter, an MOU, some kind of documentation showing that it's okay for us to have the generator. And then again, we're going to have to put wiring, electrical and that kind of stuff, conduit, underneath the drive in order for that generator that's on their property to power up the aquarium. So at this point, we're kind of in the holding pattern of needing to get an MOU from
So
Texas Parks
is
and
it
Wildlife.
not possible to move the location of the generator to be under the decking or make a place that's under all that decking that's built to put it on that side where it's not on their property?
So at the presentation that was on October 27th, October 27th, basically my understanding was that you guys liked the way that it looked as is, and there was no like, hey, let's go back and redesign. So if that is where we need to be going to get the generator onto the footprint of the aquarium's lease, the property lease, then that's what we need to be talking about and moving forward. Because right now, GBA is not moving forward with a design until they have the MOU, because they've asked me and I've said, I don't have the authority to approve that, because if we don't get an MOU for the generator to be over there.
So have you talked to the Parks and Wildlife?
I have
talked to
not.
the Parks and Wildlife Director here, and he sent me an email saying that it was fine. Then I was told, well, we'll have to get an MOU, and we'll be getting a legal liaison, or we'll be getting an attorney to work on it. So I am not working on that, because that's not my function. I was working with the district director, who had told us that it would be fine and sent me an email.
Yeah, it's
From
probably
his
somebody over his head
business
that would okay a MOU.
I think Dana, it's on your list, right? Yeah.
So
Is it
One of the things
near
about-
the top of the list?
One of the things about putting the generator under an awning or anything like that is a clearance issue, because you have to be at least a minimum of 6 foot 6 inches for any electrical device that is used for emergencies to have clearance. So it'd be a pretty high deck.
Right. And it's a gas generator, so it definitely has to be able to get a
Yeah, you
diesel
have to have
vehicle
wind
to it.
turbines in.
I think it's LPG, isn't it?
Well, I think we need to figure out how to get the MOU on some type of a rush program. That's holding up the job.
Well, there's also, and maybe you were going to talk about this, the request that just went out for the underground boring. Were you going to mention that?
Well, that'll be on the next commissioner's court. So that went out. They need to do another boring. I think we had that discussion when we were bringing it to you guys for approval. So we went out. We now are going to bring that back to commissioner's court for approval, and they're going to do a 100-foot boring that goes down to make sure that the area can hold the weight of the concrete.
And the tanks.
Yeah, and the tanks that the fish will actually be in. So that'll come back to Commissioners Court on the 23rd,
Second.
22nd.
Are there gonna be more tanks than were in the old one?
I don't know if there's more or just heavier or bigger. I'm not exactly sure
The
about
old
the
one didn't
tanks.
sink or anything, so you would think it's all right.
So there kind of needs to be like conversation about when, if we don't get the MOU by this date, then we need to come back and we need to do a redesign that makes the aquarium smaller and the generator sits on the site, because there's a long lead time for that metal building. And again, we had 2005 pricing. We're now moving into 2026
I don't
pricing.
think you would wanna make I mean, if you were gonna make something smaller, you do something in the area where the deck is, I think. Do away with the deck in a section big enough to put the deal. You don't need to change the design of the building. I mean,
Well, we could
that's a
move-
massive amount of deck out there. It's, that's strong.
Well, it does connect, and a lot of the decking is going to be used for the ADA ramps. So it's,
We
Yeah,
need
but it's
space
still,
for
I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a massive, I thought most of the decking myself was unnecessary, but
No, there's a need for it.
just whatever
And we could
what
move the
people
old
want.
fuel tank that's there because it is no longer functional, the one that's right next to the Aquarium Education Center. Parks and
that's-
Wildlife doesn't use that anymore.
yeah, that's not in our footprint though. That's Texas Parks and
That's
Wildlife
there,
footprint.
yeah,
So I don't know if you want to look back at the October 27th presentation and look at that if Mr. Lewis is online and if he would like to have
I
any.
mean, I think the MOU is probably the better thing to get done, but I don't think you want to look at making the building smaller. I think if you need the generator's not that big. It might
Right.
need some.
Right. So we need to get an MOU, and then the MOU would also need to be like, okay, the electrical goes underneath, and also for our staff to be able to come in there, maintain it, and for us to be able to fuel it up. So that's all of the items that need to be in the MOU. I thought it was gasoline.
No.
I thought
It's
we
not.
weren't. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you'd want to put a gasoline, natural gas or propane.
Okay.
It's propane.
Dale,
So
if
then-
I could make a comment.
Yes.
Good morning. Glad to be here. If I could just make a couple of comments about that generator. That generator will need to be above the mean sea level by 2 feet, which means it needs to be roughly at the deck height in order to be above the 2-foot freeboard that has to be designed around. Therefore, it would have to be somewhere on the deck or elevated. If you can get an MOU for where it is now, the only other option I know of would be to maybe put it over where the old fuel tank was and have an MOU to let you put your fence maybe on the other side and put the generator there if they're not using that area. But if you did do that, you would have to run some kind of a piping system under the deck over to the east side of the education center so that fuel could be put, because you wouldn't have no access to that generator in order to refill it. So it's a little more complicated. That's why if you can get your MOU based on where it currently sits, that would be the best of all worlds.
Well, but aren't you giving them a driveway? With where it currently sits, they're used to come in by the education center. So you're giving them a right of way down the west side of the aquarium building to get there, which that's where the generator used to be.
Well, the generator's still there.
I know it's still there, but they're not currently driving in that way. You gave them an easement down or whatever you did you gave them an easement to drive down the west side of the new aquarium building, where they now come in on the side by the
Correct.
building there. So
But Parks and Wildlife has said they have no problem with our leaving the generator there. Their trucks are not going to be coming through there like a
that's
regular
probably-
highway.
that's probably a better deal than having to bore and all that.
It absolutely is a better deal.
But you said something about refilling the generator and you know, we heard something about it being gasoline. What is it?
Apparently,
so
it's propane.
So if it's propane, you know, you run a
You'll have to have a
line
tank.
there and put the propane. You don't have to go
Oh,
over
natural
top
gas.
of the billet.
It's natural gas? Because propane, you'd have to require a tank.
Yeah,
If you do propane, you gotta
Is Renee available?
She's ill.
Okay.
Still.
So action item, we gotta get that MOU.
Okay.
First thing, all right.
And hopefully then the generator.
if you want to maybe ask them about either location. If they're gonna give us the MLU, they need to give us, is where the the location it is now or was, is that on our property or Parks and Wildlife?
It's on
Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Okay, so we need an MOU for one or both locations. Let them decide which one, you know, it sounds like the old one. If you're gonna have to bore, the old one sounds like a better option.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
That's
there
what
now,
works.
is it?
That's what works with the design. That's what works with the Parks and Wildlife.
if you're gonna do propane, you've got to get the clearances for the tanks. Because they,
It's not propane.
No, the boring server is for the foundation,
Foundation.
Oh, okay.
the
But
elevated
I thought you were
foundation.
gonna bore to put some other line.
No, we would have to put conduit under where the, but, yeah, because it's electrical. Somehow that generator has to power up that aquarium. And there's 15 feet between where the generator's at and where the building's at.
that just goes to a switch, that's just a feed over to the
Yeah, but it has to
switches
go
on the building.
underground
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
driving.
Yeah,
The line.
you gotta have 18 inches there. It's not 440, it's just 240.
I don't know about the generator.
But the reason I'm saying about the tank is we're in Lamar, we had everything ready, set 3 foot or 4 foot of the generator, and they would not set the tank there. We had to be, I think, 8 feet away.
Farther away.
Yeah, has to be 8 foot away.
Cool, that's where we're at, we got an action item. And then the last thing on the list is a Coconut Cove acquisition, Bailey Ranch, we closed on that, it's ours. And we got a legal opinion saying that we can transfer it to the Pathways project.
And so that part about preparing a land use plan and preparing the fencing, that can be handled
Through Pathways.
by the steering committee and through, Renee's folks.
Well, it's actually, we still have grant funds for that also. We have about $140,000.
But for actually devising a land management plan, that can be handled by the Pathways steering.
We would still need to work with GLO grant manager on that, yes.
Yeah, but Kat was thinking she was gonna have to go out and recruit an entire committee of people to work on this.
I think we'll just get it set up with GLO and we can get that going.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jack.
Perfect, and that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Commissioner Cheney?
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline?
Aye.
Commissioner Russo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick?
Aye.
Judge Garza?
Aye.